welcome to another episode of The Dick Show. Tonight is episode number 4. You know, it's a special night among the Dicks. First time ever, both of us here. Myself, of course, Richard Mixon. DJ Rich is over there. First time he's in our studio, the RMS Studios.
What's happening? It's Friday. Throw your neighborhoods in the air.
Not to be forgotten, the lovely Miss Producer Tiani here to my right. It's gonna be a whole different whole different ball game tonight with everybody in the studio doing what they're supposed to be doing here.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, you know what? We're playing playback from my other computer. That's what's going on. There we go. All right, fixed it. What do we got on the list for tonight?
We got some fun stuff to talk about. We got some murder hornets, or better known as some Baskin bees.
Some Baskin bees.
We got the Jalapeño challenge.
Jalapeno challenge.
Scott is going to take the Jalapeno challenge.
I actually went on our Facebook page a little while ago, and somebody was kind of talking a little crap about me. And you know, I get that it's not a habanero. I get that it's not some crazy sauce that you put on your taco. But I don't think there's ever a point where I haven't called in an order of, say, Indian food or Thai or whatever, where I haven't mentioned the fact that I'm white and that I need them to make the recipe accordingly. Now, because the sweat will just.
Is that a level of hot sauce? Like, do you have? Like,
it is.
Do you have like hot, medium, mild, and then white? Like,
yeah. Mild and in parentheses white, mild, and which is a different thing altogether. So what have you been up to this week? Anything exciting?
Work, dude. Working from home has been nothing but a challenge. Like, it's still not the new norm. I don't care what they tell you. It's not normal. It's not easy. It has its own set of challenges, but we're getting through it. I'm happy to have a job still, and then I have my second job over here, so that's a good thing. What have you been up to? I you know what? I've been getting into this thing now where I've been the gym teacher with the kids, right? And it's pretty amazing. I actually recommend, if you're a parent, and some of you parents need to probably go maybe running with your kids 2 to 3 miles a day, but I recommend for everybody. We've been doing I'm that parent.
I think we're all. They have to run a mile once a week, and so it's been they haven't really been doing some of their stuff. So we've been actually, one-upping it a little bit. Like, hey, you run a mile in school. Yeah. While your gym teacher watches you do it. In this case, the gym teacher is going to run with you, and we're going to go a mile and a half.
It sounds like PT when you're in the military.
Kind of, a little bit.
I yell. Do you chant at the kids?
You know what? I did make them sing the other night.
Tell me the song.
I don't even remember. It was something. I don't know what I've been told.
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
Yes, that was it. So, but then we started getting into what other things that the kids do when they're in school. And remember they would, like, I think the 4th or 5th grade, right? You had those little. They were like, there was like a flute, but instead of like sideways, you played it forward, and it was called a recorder.
Was it a skin flute?
No.
At all?
No. Didn't do that. That's 3rd grade you're talking about.
My bad.
Yeah, in the Boy Scouts Club.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, we got into the recorder thing. I thought I picked it up a little bit. And
did you?
I did. Yeah.
Now, Scott plays a lot of instruments. So for you guys that don't know, I mean, he's not just a DJ. Not just a DJ. He plays the piano. He is a true musician. He plays several instruments. So what's the new one you actually picked up?
So this is a recorder, right? So actually, I got a little audio from it. We didn't get to do the video, but here's the audio. It's pretty good, right? Right?
No? Great.
Thank you and good night.
I like it.
I thought it was good. It gave me a good laugh.
So are you getting better?
No, I don't know if you can improve on that at all.
You can't improve on the recorder?
Amazing.
Can you charm a snake?
I can. I haven't we haven't gotten any snakes in here yet, but we'll get to that a little later. Actually, Gary Busey has a thing where he's going to talk about snakes a little bit, and I think it's pretty funny.
That's funny. Like the funny thing is that you kind of mentioned it earlier. There's a new predator now in the United States. Right. The big thing. I know it's been all over the place. Everybody's been talking about the murder hornets.
The murder hornet. Well, I think it's the next thing that the government has descending upon us to keep us in our houses. Personally.
Really?
Right?
You think so? You think so?
Probably not. It is. It's pretty scary. It like stings beekeepers through their suits, and I think it actually has a higher death rate among humans than the coronavirus does. I'm sure of that.
Already.
It came here. Where did it come here from?
Japan.
Did it? Was it Japan?
Japan? I think it was. Yeah, it was in Asia.
Yeah,
Somewhere in Asia.
Something like that.
So
anyways, tell us about the murdering hornet. I want to know.
Well, the murder hornet is a big ass hornet. Big ass hornet.
Yeah.
Does it have any natural enemies? I mean, I haven't done too much research, just Facebook research, and I am a Facebook research artist or scientist, as you could say.
Went to school for that.
I did. I have a degree in Facebook. Not really sure too much about the murder hornets. I know they're big. I'm not sure if they're from Japan or if they're from China.
They kill bees.
They kill bees. I seen one video that there was actually like the bees like gang rushed the murder hornet, tried to get into the hive and.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, it's like anything with the internet. The big concern initially was the fact that they came here and they kill bees, and as you know, bees are actually becoming kind of extinct.
Yeah, they're
among
endangered
some species. They're
now, right?
endangered. Yeah, so this thing just gets in there with a vengeance, man, and it can destroy entire hives, and then the beekeepers, they come out and they try and kill them, and I actually saw a video where one of them hits this beekeeper right through his suit, and he's it's like 6 hours of excruciating pain. And
Are you afraid of them? I'm afraid of hornets, dude. I had one time that I was actually on my way to a DJ gig, and I was walking out of the house, and I had like my turntables in one in each arm.
Did you yell "Wuhan"? I got you all in check. Because that would have been funny.
No, I'm walking out with my turntables.
Come at me, bro.
Arms, right? I hear this bzzz right here, and then literally, like I heard the buzzing in my ears, and then literally felt just the pain in my head. And I had really short hair at the time too. So I mean, they must have. I don't know if they bite or sting or what the hell they do, but they stung the shit out of my head. And I screamed like a little girl, dude. Like, I love my DJ equipment like nobody's business. And I threw my turntable straight up in the air like, ah! Running away, having no idea what the hell was biting or stinging my head. Tried to DJ the rest of the night with, like this massive headache. Like, I didn't die. But
and all the alcohol that you drank on top of it to try and take the pain away.
Well, that's to take the pain away.
That's a normal thing.
That's normal, right?
I actually, we were looking at houses and how closely related is the wasp and the hornet? That's one of those things. I always get them mixed up, kind of like alligators and crocodiles. They're both something you should be scared shitless of, but I don't know. I don't think so. Anyways, we're looking at this house, and I was already kind of like, I don't know, take me away from this place. And we go open the door to the shop, and like this school of wasps, flock of wasps, a shit ton of wasps, man, came out this door and stung my realtor right in his eye. And I said, I think
in
we're
his
done.
eye,
and it's right next to his eye. And
Yes.
I think we're done here. I don't think I want to. I'm not going to be buying this house.
Well, is there any predators? Is there any natural predators for the?
As it turns out, there is, and I've got a little video of it. And thank God, there's somebody. Again, go with the internet. There was somebody that was kind enough to add a little audio to this. Here we go.
Closes the gap, and
look at the size of that thing.
On Manson. Nice little clinch and already.
Who knew the praying mantis was so vicious?
He starts to bite.
Don't they like rip their heads off of their mates and stuff like that too?
Yeah, the female praying mantis decapitates the male after they're done mating. So think about that.
Because right now he's just eating them like the monkey brains and Indiana Jones.
That thing looks huge
back in the day. It's just like that. It's
like my wife, she'll see like a June bug. You know those big black bees, right? The June bugs. She'll see a June bug like and he ate his head.
He's getting down on him.
He ate the whole
he's
head.
going after, there's no stinger there, right? Okay, let's take that video off.
That's the head.
He ate the whole head.
Let's go back to our faces. I don't want to see anymore. That's the
instant replay, slow mo.
Oh my God.
So to finish my story, like my wife there was in the garage. I was cleaning the garage last weekend, and there was a black bee. Like it must have been this big. It was big.
Why does it have to be black?
That's the color God made it. I don't know. Like,
okay,
it was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. My wife.
Bee.
No, it was a June bug. I think that's what they're called.
One came in our garage yesterday too, actually.
A June bug.
Yeah.
What he's talking about?
Yeah, it looks like a bee, but it's a big old fat one, right? It's just, it's on quarantine too. It's lazy. I don't know. It's just not. It's not very big. it's not running 2 to 3 miles a day. But terrified. My wife was scared. Ran in the house. Couldn't do nothing about it. Don't want to be around it. Don't want to see it. Gone. I don't know.
And so then it just disappeared off into the ether.
It's gone.
Dana actually was kind enough to explain to us, alligators have the square jaw. Cordial, I think, means crocodiles have the pointy jaw. They both are probably something you should maybe give a wide berth to when you're near them. I don't have any interest in wrestling those at all.
Oh, no. They have a nickname, though. The murder hornets have already been nicknamed the Baskin bee. Because they are killers, right? They're murderous.
Of course they are.
They're murderous.
Yeah, the Baskin bee.
Yes.
Okay. But it's the Baskin hornet, Baskin bee, Baskin insect. Anyways.
Baskin bee. It's the Baskin bee.
Speaking of Carol Baskin, did you hear about
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Did you hear, first of all, we need a little bit of background music while I'm saying this here. There we go.
Carol Baskin.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. So did you hear about she did the interview
Fed him, the tigers, they snacking.
I did.
What's happening?
She did an interview which she had said, so that was the thing, right? They did that that deplorable after show nonsense garbage thing where they brought
on Tiger King. I still haven't watched
episode 7 or whatever it was. So but they didn't get Carol Baskin on. They didn't. The gay zookeeper, I guess they wouldn't grant him the phone call from jail, and Carol Baskin weren't on that. Carol Baskin was because ostensibly she was upset about how she was portrayed in there. I think that they probably portrayed her exactly as she is. If anything,
well, nobody wants to be portrayed as a murderer, whether you're a murderer or not. It's not like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's me.
Anyway, she didn't go on. So these two guys set up a fake interview, and they pretended that they were Jimmy Fallon. Not that they were, but they pretended they were the production company for Jimmy Fallon.
Gotcha.
And they took clips from different various episodes that he had done where he, like at some point somebody was on a show and had this cat. And so, tell me about cats, right? And they take all these clips and they get her, and you can only do this right now while the coronavirus is going on because, hey, we can't be in the studio, so we have to remote in. So all it took was they told her, you're not going to be able to see Jimmy Fallon. You're only going to be able to hear Jimmy Fallon. And so they have a soundboard, literally like we have sitting right here in the RMS studios. They have a soundboard, and they're just dropping in clips of him on the show. And
like
thank you for coming here tonight. At no point did he say Carol Baskin by name, but he just throws these things out. Hey, thanks for coming tonight. So tell me about cats. And she just goes on her did, and she was hesitant. I guess her new husband is like a lawyer, and so which I guess makes sense when you're a person like that with all these lawsuits. You find a lawyer to get with, but they were a little hesitant to go on the show, and it took a couple days of these guys, and man, they did it. They got and it was a nothing burger as far as an interview go, but just the fact that they did it was kind of that was the payoff.
Do you remember that old show they had on MTV a long time ago that was like the claymation characters, and they would fight to the death, right?
I only remember the California Raisins because my mom would watch that every year at Christmas time. So tell me about this other one.
MTV used to have a show. I forget what it was called. If any of you guys out there and remember what it is, like hit me on the chat and remind me of the name of it. But the MTV had a show, and this was, I don't know, I'm showing my age real quick, but they had like these claymation characters, and it was like the death match, but it was like a wrestling ring, and they would fight, and they had like Marilyn Manson versus
Yeah, I can't remember that. Yeah.
Carlos made us watch that shit like a long time ago.
Okay, and Bat Thumb. Let's not forget, shout out to Carlos and Bat Thumb.
He'd make us watch that stuff, right?
You're fine. What about the bacon people?
But Zach's checking in on Facebook right now saying, I want to see Carol and OJ. They have a lot in common. So what do you think on that?
In the ring?
Well, maybe like death match? Like fight to the death? Carol Baskin versus OJ Simpson?
Why not?
Okay.
I think people might pay money for that, don't you?
Right. I know there's YouTubers that are boxing. I mean, nobody wants to watch Justin Bieber fight. Like, they just don't.
God, the new photos of him, he looks the Justin Bieber 2020 looks like the dude that would have Justin Bieber 2012 in the back of his panel van with the teardrop window in it. That's that's exactly what it looks like. If you took those two, put them together, it's just so bad, so terrible.
Thank you, Zach and Mallory on Facebook. Celebrity Deathmatch, that's what it was called. I bet you could probably find some clip on it. Maybe we'll bring it back to you guys next week. It was great, though. They had issues and issues and issues of different matches with different random people fighting to the death in claymation on MTV. It was great. So
it wasn't really death. It was just exploding. It was just exploding Play-Doh. It would all be done in CGI now if it was to take place.
I will pay $100 to anybody who can make me a claymation figure of Carol Baskin.
Viewers, here's your chance to make some money on the Dick Show.
Pacquiao versus Bieber. There you go. That's a good one.
We appreciate you tuning in tonight. We know you guys have options, lots of other options, but we appreciate that you're here. Hit us on the text line if it's easier for those people that are watching. 510-GO-DICKS, 510-463-4257. Twitter at ShowDicks, IG at the Dick Show 2020, and Facebook. Well, you're right here watching us on Facebook.
You're
so
right
you know
here
where to
watching
find
us
right?
on Facebook.
Yeah. There it is.
Still coming up, we have the Jalapeno Challenge. And I can see Scott across me. He is 6 feet. We are social distancing, but he's already starting to sweat.
I already am starting to sweat. Back right after this, we're going to go pour a cup of milk, and we'll be right back.
What it ain't, I can but you can't. I'm the man in the paint, without a fan I'm a faint. I'm hot, so hot you need gloves to touch me. Said I'm hot, so hot your hoe would love to move me. She cashed out pimpin' and I cash in. Old school glass house food, I be mashing. Inspector Gadget, I have it. Go Fabby Davin, been so long look like it's magic. Boom shakalaka, me beats be knocking. Me BG's out the window, 18 is nothing. It's Nada, it's Nugent, little bigger than Ruben. Sorry for 2005, my was shooting, shop open, but it's about to close down. North Oakland where I'm at, but I'm headed eastbound. Looking for some rippers and turn them into hookers. Start off in the dubs, but I end up at Booker's. Enough with the raps, bring the hook right back. This face on, why you look like that? Enough with the raps, bring the hook right back. This face on, why you look like that? I bet you I can make them say Shaboo la boopy. What the hell it mean? I don't know, you will see. I bet you I can make them say Shaboo la boopy. What the hell it mean? I don't know, you will see. The town is coming back, and you don't got to ask who brought it because you know the facts. Fabby Davis, the son of a pimp, the man. This poster boy pimp, man, imagine that. I knock dimes that be finer than Holly. Rolled through the ghost, had to holler at Holly. Then I hit the east, had to stop on Holly. Police right behind me, I ain't tripping, I'm Charlie. I'm super sick with it, super cool. Fooling on my white tee, I'm doing the fool. In the middle of the flow, going stupid Dumbo with a snow bunny hoe, hair long as Rapunzel. If you ain't knocking hoes, man, what did you come for? Don't start nothing, won't be nothing, my is gun ho. I'm YOLO, solo, just like Han, but it's still shocking like my mama was Han. Enough with the raps, bring the hook right back. This face on, why you look like that? Enough with the raps, bring the
The song has so much great history to those who know. If you know, you know, as they say.
I bet you I could make him say Shaboopa la boopy. What the hell's that mean?
I don't know, but you're goofy.
I might be goofy, but look what I got for you.
No.
Look what I got for you.
It's just gonna. I don't. I think I've on accident maybe eaten a jalapeno once or twice before.
Accident? What about like pickled jalapenos? Can you have a pickled jalapeno? Like on nachos, baseball games?
No.
At all?
I think I once had some stuffed jalapenos, but like probably what was spicy was taken out of them or something. I don't know.
Well, if they're pickled, they're really, really mild. So
I don't have to eat the whole thing, right?
Take a good bite.
I'll take a legit chunk out of it.
Take a legit bite.
I'll take a legit chunk out of it.
So you were talking to me. You were telling me about Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. So Gary Busey.
How many people out there know who Gary Busey is still?
Again, what I said before. If you don't know, you don't know. I guess. So here's a guy. He's been in a lot of like action film kind of things, right? And he's kind of 80s. He was always kind of supporting actors like Jean-Claude Van Damme and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he got into a bike wreck. And if you haven't seen the segment with Dr. Phil where he talks about it, it actually makes me think he's a little less crazy. I think he's a guy who was slogging through life and had a death experience where he died on the operating table and was brought back. And he has a very spiritual look at things now where he didn't have it before. In addition to the fact, I think he's batshit crazy.
Exactly. John checking in on Facebook saying that Gary Busey is nuts.
And he's nutty as a squirrel turd. And the older he gets and the more he has his big giant teeth, then just the nuttier he is. So he's got this new show out now where he's a pet judge. And I admit I don't know much about, is he judging the people? But it's kind of like Judge Judy.
Have you watched it?
But I've watched previews to it. I don't think it's been released yet.
So it's a new show.
It's a new show, and he's like kind of like Divorce Court or Judge Judy or Joe Brown or one of those. Judge Judy is the highest paid person in television.
I believe it. She's been around for what, 130 years?
Yeah, like $73 million a year or something.
They still
had
had black and white television when Judge Judy first aired.
Good for her. I've always thought I'd be good at that.
Didn't they post naked pictures of Judge Judy at some point? Oh, that was
Dr. Laura. That was Dr. Laura. I don't want to see any. I don't have either of them now that I think about it.
Dr. Laura wasn't a pretty thing either. Like,
yeah, no, not for me. Anyways,
okay, I want to see it out there.
We've teased it enough. Let's bring up a little preview of Gary Busey here and see what this show's going to be all about, because it really is ridiculous.
Great point there, and a sign that says "No snakes allowed." That keeps them out. No dogs allowed. No locusts allowed, no munchkins allowed, none. Whatever you don't want in there.
Mikey Winfield is in here too. It's just
put the sign up that says what's not allowed.
I understand, Your Honor, but I just want to point out that he never, until arriving at the hotel, said that he was going to be bringing snakes with him.
Zoo, I promise you.
And all those other pet owners stayed ahead of time when reserving their room. It was a surprise, and there was over 30 snakes in that box. It was a lot of snakes.
Surprise! How does that feel?
Not great.
Gary Busey.
Good.
That was the basis. I think he was drunk the entire time.
Right.
He just left the strip club. He just left the strip club.
They're pretty open about the fact that he is not a judge of any kind.
Did you see the bailiff? Did you see the bailiff?
I did. He's a comedian actually from Sacramento, which is
really?
Yeah.
What's his name? Do you know?
Mike E. Winfield is the gentleman's name.
Mike E. Winfield. I'm seeing him.
Mike, and then the letter E. Winfield. Period.
Let's check it out.
Middle name.
So what do you think, though? I mean,
about what?
Gary Busey, and he's not a judge. I mean, like, is it like?
I'm gonna watch it just because I'm not a big TV watcher. I've got so many other things going on in my life that I don't have much time for TV. But I'll figure out how to stream that, and I'll put it on while I was about to say I'm driving on my way home from work, and I would never do that. So that's not when I'm going to watch it.
My mom's a big Judge Judy fan. Like, if you go to my mom's house at any given time during any day, because Judge Judy's on 24 hours a day. I think there's a Judge Judy channel.
You know what I call that? Disaster porn. So it's like,
explain.
Well, just. Our lovely Miss Producer does the same thing. She watches
disaster porn. She does disaster porn.
Just where it's like the dregs of society that wouldn't have an IQ of 5 if they rubbed 2 nickels together, and they're on TV, and they're just. She was sitting here last night, and I most of the time I don't like the wives, whatever wives of OC or whatever that are always are Atlanta, and it's just beep 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 beep, and there's no. But so like last night,
right now,
yeah. So, I have a point that I'm trying to get to. So last night she found a compilation of all of idiots on the internet.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard a lot of them before. A lot of them were people where they're like, I know my rights, and while they may have been dead on in what they were saying, it's like, man, you're doing nothing for the cause when you talk like that.
That's like watching.
That was going on in the studio last night.
Watching Maury. It's like watching. Is it still Maury Povich, or is it just Maury now?
I think it's Dr. Phil. Did you see the one of Dr. Phil where the bum fights guy? So I didn't see the. And I don't use that word often. I hate Dr. Phil.
Why?
Because I think all he's doing is making money. He's bringing people on purporting to try and help them with their problems, and all he's doing is he's bringing them on for ratings, to boost his ratings and to make money off of them. And there's some troubled people that he has on the show that actually need psychiatric help, and not just brought up in front of a TV audience.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Needed psychiatric help.
Catch me outside. How about
exactly.
that?
Needed way more than to have fame thrown her way that would just essentially exacerbate the problem. So
catch me outside. How about that?
I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a guy that he was getting bums to fight each other for money. Something we probably would have done in the early 20s.
I may or may not have watched a few of those videos.
Bum fights, right? He's a bum fight guy. Yeah. So he brings a bum fight guy on. And the guy, he's in the green room, he shaves his head.
The bum?
No, the bum fight. The filmer of the bum fights shaves his head where it's bald and he puts his little, and he comes walking out there, a spitting image of Dr. Phil. And he sits down and of course, the audience, I'm sure the little sign up there said boo, and the audience is booing and everybody. And Dr. Phil kicks him off, and he's like, why are you kicking me off? essentially what I did filming bum fights is no different than what you do on your show. And of course, they weren't having any of it. And, fair enough. It's his Dr. Phil show. He wants to kick him the hell off. He can do that. It's his show. But I just thought it was funny. And you know what? Good for him, because I freaking hate Dr. Phil.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Yep. Is it pepper eating time?
Oh, are you ready for pepper?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
we teased it. We're at the 7:30 mark.
You're not. I don't think you're ready.
I don't know if I'm ready for it.
I'm gonna Kevin Hart on you. He wasn't ready.
I did.
Gasoline where it's gonna burn.
I did.
Are you ready?
I took 2 Imodiums before the show.
Why?
I don't know if it works that way. I don't know if it's a preemptive type thing, but I feel like it couldn't do me any harm if I did that.
What couldn't do you? Well, it's a jalapeno. It's not going to do that harm. So
you should wait 30 more minutes because you don't even know how you're going to act after you eat the.
Well, if I wait 30 more minutes,
I kind of want to see how he's going to act while he.
we may have to cut to a break.
We have more stuff.
We've got more stuff to talk about.
We have more stuff
in fact, angry stuff that's going to piss me right off. So let's go ahead.
We're going to see if we can get Scott to pound the table, but. Talking about the jalapeno challenge. So this is something that we all challenged him on our show last week, right? To eat the jalapeno. This is a fresh jalapeno. I can't say it was picked today, but it was bought from the store today, so that makes a difference. I don't know. But I did a little bit of research about jalapenos, and just to make you feel a little bit better, right? Mm-hmm. So peppers are rated on the Scoville scale, right?
Okay.
And the Scoville scale goes from 0 to 16 million, right? 0 being a bell pepper, which has no heat. Right.
Okay.
And 16 million, which is pure capsaicin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, jalapenos rate relatively low from about 2,000 to 8,000. 2,000 to 8,000 on a scale of 16 million.
God, I hope I got the 2,001 and not the 8,001. That's a big spread right there.
You have better chances of catching coronavirus, I guess, but than it really being super hot where it's going to kill you. You're going to be able to finish this show. Okay. Carolina Reaper, that is the hottest pepper grown naturally, right? Yeah. 2.2 million on the Scoville scale.
Have you seen the one where the guy interviews people and he makes them eat the hot sauce?
You know what's even Yeah,
and you know I'm going to say it right here, right now. Steve-O is a lot more intelligent than I thought. He had a legit conversation on there with Steve-O, and I was surprised. I was impressed actually at the way he was speaking about things, and he's turned his life around from being a completely drug-addled twat into
drugs are bad,
whatever he is now. But I was impressed, and he made it pretty far through there. The funniest one of those I've seen, look it up. I can't remember the guy's name, but the Chinese doctor that's the actor that you make fuck on me, right? He was sitting there, oh God, and he got like the second one in, and it was over with for the poor guy. Probably about how I would be.
So just so you guys know, Tiani wants Scott to take a little bite. She's worried about him. That's her man. She's a little bit scared. Scott agreed.
No, he's gonna take a half of it. I already told him not to do it, so he wants to do it. He has to take a half of it.
Scott is quite a change from earlier.
Scott is a grown ass man.
I am.
So he's gonna take like a grown ass man. So just so you know, anybody.
Okay, so he's a grown ass man. He should take a whole jalapeno then.
I don't like where any of this is going. Well, we'll see.
Now that's a challenge.
At what point do I throw out the challenge I have for you for the next show? Is now a good time for that?
You ready? Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All right. Next show, you need to show up in jeans and flip flops. Yeah.
But I have a penis. I have a penis.
Put that inside your jeans when you show up and wear flip flops with them. And as hard as it is for me to eat this jalapeno, I know how hard that's going to be for you.
I just started sweating. For you. Okay, so just so you guys
look at all these people. Look at all these people that
everybody wants to see it. Look,
shout out to Carlos, who's leaving me all sorts of comments right now.
Yes.
We've mentioned you on the show earlier.
Take it.
We mentioned bat thumbs and the bacon people and all that stuff.
I don't have a 6-foot pole to hand you, that I can show everybody.
Take it the long way.
Okay, here we go. Oh man, I've got this. I've got a glass of milk right here.
Oh, we have Biscuit. We have Biscuit checking in on Facebook saying the whole jalapeno.
Which way do I eat this?
Carlos is saying the whole jalapeno. Ashley Smith checking in from Facebook
I'm not
saying
the whole thing. I'm not doing it. Go back and watch
the whole thing.
Go back and watch Dick Stone number 3, and the thing was to take a small bite. I'm going to take bigger than a small bite.
Take a half.
Okay, here we go.
Do it. Oh, I heard the crunch. Chew it. You can't just swallow it. You got to chew it. You got to chew the damn thing. Oh. Oh. Let me know how you're feeling. I wanna hear it.
Oh, my poor baby.
I'm not sure who's hurting more, you or Tiana.
You know what? It's not half. You guys want me to eat half. I'm gonna at least do that.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Let me
That's
see
grown man shit right there.
Is it hot?
Tiana,
No,
take a bite. Take a bite, Tiani.
Hell no.
Do it.
well, you're not getting any. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
That's how you do a challenge. That's how you do a challenge. He switched his whiskey for milk, but
That wasn't that bad. I don't need to go to commercial break. I'm sweating like a whore in church right now. I did eat the seeds. I got a whole. I got a whole bunch of seeds in there. Yeah.
Now,
You're not even supposed to drink milk when you're going on air either, which is gonna be hard to talk now.
Take a bite, Tiani. Do it.
I did it.
No, you didn't. I didn't see it.
That's
a bite.
That's the part where I can drink water now, because I'm feeling
No, it's gonna get hotter.
a little ding on my forehead.
Oh my God, this shit is
So I know some of you guys checking in. Scott actually took 2 bites.
Yeah.
Tiani gave it a little nibble. She didn't bite it like she does ice, but she did take a good sized bite. No. The problem that I have with jalapenos, it's not that it's the hottest pepper out there. It's more of a lingering.
It lasts, man.
Yeah, jalapenos will last.
It's still on the tongue right now.
Where your tongue is just like
on fire.
Yeah, breathe that air in.
God damn it. Oh, that's intense.
Do you have any soda?
I think kids didn't eat it all. Drink it all.
Go take a drink of some Coke.
Hell
no. 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 I see what you're trying to do to me. No.
John checking in from Facebook said clean the palate. It'll help you.
With what?
It'll help with the.
Oh my God, that's hot.
The soda will? I think you're bullshitting.
No, the soda cleaning your palate.
Wipe your face.
No, he's a grown man.
I'm good.
He's a grown man. Jeans and flip flops. Jeans and flip flops.
Mm-hmm. That's your challenge next week. I'm gonna have to set up another camera so that we can catch the flip flops as you come in with your jeans. You're gonna sit here and you need to sit here the whole show that way.
With jeans and flip flops.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do it all the time. It won't kill you.
I don't know if I can do it.
I know. That's why I picked that one.
Yep. Everybody's telling you it'll help if you drink some Coke.
Well, all I have is orange soda. It's okay. It's all right. I don't need it. I'm good.
You're doing good?
He fibbing.
I'm all right.
My lips is burning.
I'm proud of you. You did good.
My lips aren't burning, but my tongue is really. If I start really flubbing during the show here, we'll know what's going on.
Biscuit told you to
sugar.
No, swallow a Mentos and then drink a Coke.
Eat fertilizer and pour. Yeah, that's all a good idea.
We have people checking in. Watch out! Don't wipe your eyes.
Right.
Don't cry. You're all right.
I did this thing. So this was amazing to me. So for some of you who don't know, I went through the police academy a former life because I thought I wanted to become a cop, and
I knew there smelled like bacon in here.
Yeah, God bless cops that deal with unruly people. I changed my mind about it because you're dealing with people that are never happy to see you, no matter what situation you get in. You go to a domestic violence call, they're happy you're there, but they're not happy there. So I went through it start to finish. I was going to get hired by SAC PD, and one day I said, this just isn't for me. But that's not the point. The point is, part of that academy class that I took was going to a. You turned the audio on over there. Part of that was going to a chemical agents course where you have to go through a gas chamber, and then you got to go through the gas chamber and clear your mask while you're in there, and you come out and you're just a sniveling, snotty mess as you come out of the thing.
Okay.
And the final end of the day is
Tiani,
they spray you with. Maybe we should have given her the challenge. They spray you with pepper spray right in your goddamn eyeballs, and. I knew if you think that jalapeno, I just got a seed there, it just kind of reactivated everything.
Right?
What I would tell you is that I would rather get shot, I think, than get sprayed in the eyes with pepper spray, because 3 days later I was still feeling effects from the pepper spray. I would take a shower, and apparently it was still on my skin, and it would start the whole thing all over again.
I wanted to build this up, so I actually looked it up, right, on the Scoville scale.
Okay.
So the Carolina Reaper is the hottest natural pepper, right? The hottest, naturally grown. Tiani gonna cry in the car. Like I promise. Right?
Have a chemical burn up here.
Yeah, you ate it and you ate a pepper.
I'm sorry about your luck.
Makes for good radio.
Yeah, exactly. So the Carolina Reaper is the hottest naturally occurring pepper.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now pepper spray. Now Carolina. So maybe back up. Carolina Reaper is 2.2 million.
Nitromethane, John says.
No, 2.2 million on the Scoville scale. Right. Out of 16 million.
Okay.
Okay. Pepper spray is more than twice that. Okay. 5.3 million on the Scoville scale.
Something capsicum.
Capsaicin.
Capsaicin.
Yes.
So
5.3 million.
Where I was going, check this out, because I'm glad you brought that up. Where I was going with that is that the guy that taught this course had been doing this for many years, and was telling us that none of this bothered him anymore.
Pepper spray?
None of the stuff, none of the gas chamber, none of it. And he was telling us that pepper spray is just. It's essentially capsaicin peppers and like olive oil. That's what it is. It's a naturally occurring. There's nothing man-made. There's nothing synthetic in there at all.
Did you put it on your burrito now? Are you ready?
I shit you not. We sat down for lunch and this guy pulled tacos out and he reached down and he grabbed pepper spray and he sprayed it on his tacos and he goes, to prove it, I'm just going to sit here. And he ate that thing and sat there and had a conversation.
It is food grade. I know pepper spray is food grade.
It's food grade. He sprayed it on there, and so...
That's grown. Like that's just like having a big old thing and just slapping it on the table. Like,
yeah,
watch this.
This shotgun won't hurt me at all. See, look, I'm black in the face, but I'll come back in the next scene and I'll be fine, just like a cartoon. That's what it was. Because I mean, the rest of us are all.
That's like John Wick,
an hour later, we're on the ground, and it feels like if you've never been sprayed with pepper spray before. It's not the burning sensation and the heat that gets you. It's when it's in your eyes. It literally feels like somebody grabbed your eyeballs out, filled them with pea gravel, and then let them go. Your eyes just feel, and they kept saying your eyes are going to feel like they're full of rocks. Oh, whatever. Spray me with a spray. Shut up. And, oh, man.
You didn't say that again, did you?
I didn't say that again. It was all bad. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break right now. We're going to come back, and we're going to get a little bit more political. I know we said we wanted to stay away from Chairman Xi's Chinese bat disease, but there's been some shit going around, and we want to talk about it a little bit, and I think now is a great time to do that.
You know what, Mr. Mixon? You know what?
What's that?
I'm proud of you.
Oh,
Good job.
I'm going to bang the desk.
Challenge completed. Oh, yeah. It's Friday. Throw your neighborhood in the air if you don't care.
We're taking a little break right now. And
Who's having a good time tonight?
Miss Producer's like, how's your still mouth not on fire? Well, it kind of is.
I appreciate all you guys tuning in tonight. Like, it's...
Yeah, this is we're having a great time tonight, just because I think the fact what you guys don't realize is that our history is sitting in the same room and feeding off each other a little bit is a lot easier for us to do than when somebody's in in a completely different city than the other one. So
we're still 6 feet away, though. It feels
we're still 6 feet away. We want to do actually. So I have this.
We have a street team girl lined up.
Yeah, and Miss Producer came up with a great idea. We're going to make a microphone that's a little over 6 feet long. We're going to custom make in the RMS Studios. We actually almost every piece of cabling in this studio has been handmade, and so we're going to take. To 6 feet, so we stay 6 feet away from our minimum 6 feet. We're gonna custom make a 6 foot long microphone, and with a sign on the side with 6 feet and arrows on each direction, and you can take interviews, but you're 6 feet away because you're at this point now you're on TV. You're not going to wear a mask. If you're talking to somebody, it's going to be hard to interview somebody if they're wearing a mask.
Well, you've seen that.
So we want to make sure we maintain a minimum. So we should probably be a 7 foot.
Well, you've seen Karen. You've seen Karen videos, right? That had like the holes in the mask and.
Oh God!
I actually seen a video of a person like everybody's making masks online now, right? They're all over the place, right? Facebook, eBay, Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a mask. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Cooler the better.
Okay.
Someone took like the baby wipes package, right? For those of you who have babies, you guys know what I'm talking about. The baby wipes package has a little flip on the top from when the bars open up, right? You got the plastic goes over your face, but you can take a drink of your beer, close it, and be gone.
It's genius.
You do what you got to do.
I saw that video because I think we've all seen it now. That with the lady going in the convenience store and she's got like the hole cut out. Yeah. And I have a different take on that. I think
I can't breathe.
Yeah, I got a different take on that. I think she was basically saying, "Well, they told me I got to wear a mask, so I'm wearing my mask." Because I could see that. God, at work, I'm back at work now, and I'm at a job site yesterday in one of my buildings, and I go in there and I got to get my forehead scanned, and I'm like, if I thought I had a fever, I wouldn't have come to work today. And was it going to be like I get in the car and then all of a sudden an hour later, like, I'm 101 degrees.
So when you go to work, they scan your forehead before you walk into the building?
No, just in one of the construction sites. At one
what's crazy about that? Like, I have an office at home and I have to work from home, right? And when I walk into my office, my wife, she scans my forehead with one of those temporal thermometers. Just to make sure, like, you have a fever? Like, let me check and make sure you have a fever.
My company's no different than anybody else's company. If any of you have gone back to work, if you've been at work, and we're a small little shop, but we're pushing that corporate thing, and we got in this conversation about, well, we need to take everybody's temperature, and I'm like, well, so how does that work? Like, so I have to go. I think I have a fever. I've got to go walk into our management office, get within forehead scanning range, which is closer than 6 feet, to somebody who's then going to take my temperature. I violated our 6-foot policy. So the only way to fix this is we all have our own thermometers. So I made an Amazon order for like $1,000, and we all have our own forehead scanners. And
if you have a mask and gloves on, though, are you allowed to get closer?
I don't know. I got to read up on that. I don't know.
Speaking of reading up,
it's all horse shit because I think we've all had it anyways.
Well, that's the crazy part.
That's what we came here to talk about.
No, I wanted to piss everybody off. So the topic that I wanted to bring up to piss everybody off was the Plandemic video, and I know all you assholes out there have seen it, whether you love it or whether you hate it.
Carlos said ocular pat down. I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that means.
I know an ocular cranial shot is the shot through the eyeball, but ocular pat down. Oh, I think he's saying my eyes are still ready for the pepper.
That's what he's doing. Yeah. You're still crying?
I don't feel like I am. I'm gonna take my glasses off.
Crying. My lips are burning.
This producer's having a rough time with it over here. Anyways, Plandemic.
Plandemic. Who's watched it?
Plandemic.
Who have seen Plandemic? How do you feel about it? What do you think?
Yeah, I want to hear some for the viewers. My take on it is
Dr. Mikovits, is she full of shit?
I think personally, she sits there on that Plandemic video. If you can manage to see it now, it's been taken down so many times. And she talks about how she's, the cops are in her house and she doesn't know why they're there. And I'm like, well, that's a little, that's not quite being honest, because you already have admitted to stealing things that weren't yours. I mean, she's admitted to it. So,
yeah.
But the problem, and I brought this up on a previous show, the problem here is ambivalence. It's people that think that you have to be in this camp or you have to be in that camp, and there's no in between.
That's awesome.
Lots of criminals sit up on jury stands, and they talk about, well, I'm going to testify against this person over here who's guilty of a crime. Now, they're distrustful as hell, but juries believe them because they're testifying to having been involved with something. So my take on it is I think she's kind of a lying piece of crap on some levels. But I don't think that some of the things that she said are wrong. And what's funny is that every time somebody goes on Facebook or some other social media and they say, that's a bunch of crap, all they do is discredit the person saying it. Well, she's discredited herself. She's discredited. She's a discredited witness as far as I'm concerned.
She's a criminal.
But
she's a felon.
But let's
double felon. If you really want to be technical.
But let's talk about the things that she said. Let's not talk about the person. Let's not play the CIA game of just spreading false information about somebody so that we just discredit them. Let's actually say,
Carlos checked in online. He says, let's not discredit you though, because cops have been at Valerie Lane quite a few times.
Yeah, well, it's
that may or may not have happened.
I mean, yeah, it's not. That's a saying. Maybe. You know what? That's the Dick Show number 5. I think we're going to get into. We're going to get into parties that we've had and some craziness has gone on. But back to my point is that the people aren't contesting what she has said.
Okay.
And even when you go and you look at some of these sites that purport to, do like a factcheck.org or something, some of them are like, well, hospitals aren't being incentivized, and then, but they're given $13,000 for everybody that they have that's a coronavirus patient, and $49,000 for everybody put on a ventilator. And I'm like, well, but that's exactly incentivizing it then. If you're saying you're going to give a hospital federal, using my finger quotes here, free money for something, the hospital's going to say, well, no, they actually died of, stage 4 leukemia or terminal cancer, whatever. No, they're not. They're going to do exactly what some of these doctors have said, and that's that they're going to list the cause of death as COVID-19. They're going to put people on ventilators that may or may not need to be on ventilators, but hey, we get $50K per patient. And
she's crying that they're the wrong treatments. That's the scary part. The scary part is like, if God forbid anybody was to contract this virus, whether it be super fatal or not, if they're treating you wrong and you're going to get hurt more because of it. I mean, a doctor's oath, and I have a few friends that are doctors and nurses out there, the first oath that they take is do no harm. That is the end of your day.
The hypocritical oath,
harm.
right? No, the hypocritical oath is the Hippocratic oath. Yeah. I didn't come here to argue what she said about the virology part of it. I'm not a virologist, and I don't know. I don't know if vaccines are good or bad. There's plenty of people out there that think, and she claims to not be an anti-vaxxer, which is to her credit.
She's known to be an anti-vaxxer. That's what she did.
But then she said she's
famous for.
She said she's not anti-vaxxer.
I heard it.
I'm not going to go down the road on all that because that's getting into medical things that I don't understand.
I don't know enough about.
But the things that she talks about that you can go online and you can find that Bill Gates is very much attached to the patents for the vaccine. A Newsweek article that just came out about a week ago that Dr. Fauci actually sent U.S. money to the Wuhan lab to study the virus, and not just to study the virus, but to take a virus that was only animal-borne, that could only be transmitted between animals, and purposefully mutate it so that it could go to spread to humans. So much to the fact that the United States then said, hey, we don't want to fund this anymore because we're a little worried that this might cause a pandemic. So they stopped it in, I think, 2014, and then 2017, when everything got thrown in disarray with Trump coming into the White House, they funded it again. So it comes dispute that. Dispute those things. Don't dispute the character.
Yeah, but it comes down to the fact, like John checking in on Facebook, like, my big problem is, whether you believe it or not, I think the truth lies somewhere in between everything. Do I completely trust the government? Fuck no. Do I completely trust this lady? She's a felon. Why would I? But if anything, it makes you think. As an individual, the only true freedom that we have as Americans is the ability to think for yourself. Make your own conclusion. Make your own opinion. Whether you're wearing the damn tinfoil hat or
turban
or turban, like,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Somebody
it's a wrap.
I know.
Come on, guys.
But indeed, like, it happens. But the problem is, we've had doctors been practicing medicine for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? Mm-hmm. When is the last time they cured anything? Anything?
Well, I guess it's not a cure for AIDS. It's a thing that stops it from spreading.
Yeah, you're not going to die from it, but you get to take our medicine for the rest of your life.
Yeah, fair enough.
But when are they cured?
Well, there's no money in the. I mean, there's no money in the cure. But this
no, speaks. But you're a doctor. Most doctors, most virologists, people get into the medical field for what? You ask any nurse that just came out of nursing school, any doctor that just got out of med school.
Money and hose.
Cocaine and strippers? Could be. I don't know.
Reasonable answer to me.
But in all honesty, when you ask these people, what did you go to medical school for? What did you spend this $100,000 in student loan debt for? What did you do it for? I wanted to be better. I wanted to help. I wanted to help people.
That's why I did it.
And doctors are not. They're pill pushers now. Yes. I think. And because Big Pharma comes in, I mean, there's miles of
Zach
information.
Checking in on Facebook, the last thing they fixed was erectile dysfunction.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. That's awesome.
John Bissett said Hep C cured. Okay, fair enough. I think that there's stuff, and I'm not going to bag on doctors, but what I do want to talk about also is with this, and I'm glad you brought it up, is YouTube and Facebook and the censorship, and they're pulling things down that who is to say what's wrong and right? And we're getting into this. We're getting into full-on totalitarianism now. That the people on Facebook, the powers that be, well, this information goes against, and that's what they're saying. They're taking anything down that goes against
what the CDC,
or the World Health Organization is saying. And I think that's wrong. I think let the people do some research. I mean, at this point now, we have so many avenues. We have so much, crap that we have to sift through anyways. But just because, I mean, let's look at. There's been numerous times the government has used subterfuge against us. Okay. And if we have media outlets, and I'm going to call YouTube and Facebook a media outlet, because I don't know anybody now that pulls out their TV tray, sits down at 6 o'clock at night and watches the CBS News. We get our news through online sources. We get our news through YouTube. We get our news through Facebook posts. It's how it is. If we weren't getting our news through Facebook, then there would have been no Russia conspiracy where we think they threw the election, because that all had to do with people getting their news off of Facebook in 2016. So I call bullshit on that. YouTube and Facebook are news sources, whether we like it or not. So if our news sources are following lockstep with what the government tells them to do, how far are we away from,
what scares me?
Things like, hold on a second, from like MK Ultra, right? What happened if MK Ultra, and for those of you who don't know, MK Ultra was a government experiment where they tested various things, harmful, some of them very unharmful, but they tested things on the American citizens from 1953 to about 1973. 20 years this went on. This isn't a secret thing. This isn't something you can go on freaking Wikipedia and read about this now, and it's the government using American people as test subjects. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening now. I'm not saying that the coronavirus is any of that. I'm not. What I am saying, I'm serious. I'm deep in thought right now. I have resting bitch face sometimes when I get. What I am saying is that what if that happened now?
Yeah.
The government did it once. Okay. What if they did it again and they did it now? Would we say, well, the CDC government organization is saying that we need to do this, and by God, this thing goes against that, so we're taking it off. Then how are we getting our real news then?
We're not.
Because that right there is a perfect example of a situation where fake news, and I hate that phrase so much just because it's so trite and so used now.
Came from China.
But it's so yeah.
Rick checking in on Facebook.
China.
It did. The China virus. Rick checking in on Facebook. Everything has a motive, everything for a plan, and I don't want to be too political with you guys. I'm not trying to bore you to death, but at the end of the day, everything does have a plan. Everything has a motive. Anything that anybody does is for a reason, whether it's good or bad. The hard part is making an educated decision as a human being, educated or non-educated, to what's right or wrong. It's the first thing we're taught as a kid.
And that is a difficult thing right now, because I had a good friend of mine. I spend way more time on Facebook these days than I should, and a lot of it's just seeing what you guys have to say and seeing what we're talking about on the show.
You know the funny part about that is?
What's up?
Is if you're telling me that Facebook is now a true media outlet or a news source, I need better fucking friends on Facebook.
Right.
I gotta stop following Tiani.
And Twitter.
I gotta stop following.
God, Twitter is a huge source of news information. I mean, you get the word right from the president. On the Twitter machine. But no, somebody was asking the other day about what he was. Excuse me, that pepper's going around. He was asking what a good, reputable true news source is, and you know what? I don't have one. There's everything has a bias now, and I don't know that it was ever good that you could sit down and trust the news that you watched at night, because I think there's always been, but it's really tough now, and it's all of our responsibilities, I think, to go seek the truth, and we may never know completely what the truth is, but seek it out, and don't use fear. Don't use fear as a block from finding the truth.
We're peons. We don't get to know the truth. We get to know what we're entitled enough to find out. But Carlos checking back in on Facebook. It's all a big ploy by Cobra Commander.
George Washington once said, actually, that fire is a great servant and a terrifying master, and he was right. It's It's all perspective.
One of the big things that people were talking about, and like, Scott, are you a video game player?
Epic Times, Zach mentions. That's a decent source. There's a couple out there.
Are you a video game player?
No. I played Crash Bandicoot a couple times. I got good at it.
Okay.
Does that count?
What about like Resident Evil?
No.
Familiar with the game?
None of those. In fact, the kids have I don't know what they have, an Xbox or something. I try to keep them from playing video games too much.
One of the big things about this virus is everybody wants to open up. Here in California, we have fucking dickhead Newsom as our governor here. Whether you love him or hate him.
Chairman Newsom.
Yes.
Governor Mussolini.
Whether you love him or hate him, like everybody just wants to have a normal life again.
Yeah. And well, he knows what's best for us. Newsom does.
Yes, he does.
He's going to tell us what's best for us he has no personal motivations behind that at all.
Well, his anti-vodka Pelosi has to make sure that she controls what's going on and not just go now.
Pelosi right in February, so we know it's a fact now that somebody died February 6th in Santa Clara from this virus. It's a proven fact. It's not this is not some conspiracy thing. February 6th, Santa Clara died of the coronavirus. It meant she had it in late January. Pelosi in mid-February was had a parade in Chinatown because God forbid we should think that this has to do with China and blame the Chinese people, and I don't think anybody's blaming the Chinese people. Governments are China. Governments are the enemy, not the people. But a parade when this thing is going around
comes from China.
Well, my whole point
a pox on both of them.
My whole point to everything that I was saying is like Newsom saying that we can't go back to normal life until there's a vaccine.
Until ever is pretty much what he's saying, because I don't think there's going to be a vaccine anytime
Nobody
soon.
wants a vaccine, but for my video gamers out there was a company called the Umbrella Corporation.
Zach said he's a U-Haul salesman of the month. What if he should put his photo up behind the counter?
What if the Umbrella Corporation comes out with the virus? Are you taking it?
I'm not taking it if Bill Gates comes out with it.
Are you taking it like the jalapeno?
Nope. I won't even take a little bitty bite out of it. In fact, there's things that have come out with this that make me think I don't want the flu vaccine anymore.
I used to be a stickler about that. Ever since I was a firefighter, like I used to be a stickler about getting all my vaccinations. And if nothing else, I at least want to know what the fuck they're injecting in me.
Mm-hmm. I'm not anti-vax.
I'm not anti-vax. Like all my kids are vaccinated. My whole family's vaccinated. But I definitely want to know what the hell that you're injecting in me.
Would you want your kids to get vaccinated?
Yes.
I want them to get vaccinated, but I don't want it. But absolutely. But I don't. The flu vaccine, I'm starting to. I don't think so. Anyways, did we have any useful contributions off the Facebook here? He's not a gamer. I want to see what Carl. He's not a gamer. He used to yell at us over the intercom to turn those damn games down. That's true. I think I actually went and shut the power off one time to the TV because I was.
Because you were what?
In my defense, my former roommate and very close friend Carlos used to destroy televisions and controllers and playing Call of Duty and other games, and so sometimes a mother effer needs to sleep and it's 4 a.m. and you're like, I've had enough of this, and so just send a clear message.
I have a good friend of mine who his girlfriend or wife, however you want to call it, happened to be streaming live on Facebook at around 5-6 o'clock in the fucking morning, and there was a gentleman that she was
got very angry and was stomping through the house in the background with his with his backpack. Yeah, yes. I think I remember that live feed. You didn't say anything. I didn't need to.
It happens. But.
It happens. Well, we thank you for letting us get a little political tonight. What this all boils down to for me is, find the truth. I don't know if this pandemic. Yeah, I don't know if this pandemic thing is the truth. But man, I don't like that it's being taken from us because it doesn't fit the agenda of
my biggest
YouTube.
problem. My biggest problem is, I've stocked up on all this damn ammunition, and I haven't seen one effing zombie yet. I'm ready.
Me too. I'm so ready.
What are you going to do?
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are The Dick Show. Richard Mixon, DJ Riches.
You got to play the right ending song. We know you have plenty of options. We appreciate you choosing us on a Friday night. Make sure that you hit us on the Twitter machine at ShowDicks, IG on The Dick Show 2020, Facebook, look up The Dick's Show.
Hit us on YouTube. Give us a like. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next Friday night. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Next Friday night, indeed.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that